Hi everyone, today I wanted to give my review on Netflix documentary, The Tinder Swindler. I would be giving away key points of the documentary, so if you want to watch the video first before my review, um, I would be, this video would have spoilers. So this story is in a nutshell about a scammer who scammed a lot of people, women, mostly women, through emotional manipulation and the pretense of being in love or having a relationship or a friendship, and apparently also other people, not only women but also men and couples that he have become friends with. So, but this story centers on how he gets dates through Tinder and scams these people out of $250,000 or more, and multiply that over the years and all of the other women that he has scammed. So his method starts out as making an emotional connection with these people. So in the case of the first victim, the first woman, the first victim, they met on Tinder, and then she went out on a date with him, and supposedly in a 5-star hotel, and then he said, I need to leave for a different country after this date, and asked her if she wanted to go with him. So she went with him. So I'm going to circle back to this part of the story because it is a red flag, and I think it's one of his ways of seeing if this person is going to fall for the long game or not. And so she agrees because he's supposed to be the billionaire son of a diamond tycoon, an Israeli diamond tycoon. So that's what so that's the first part. And then she went with him, and then they were like going around in expensive cars and expensive hotels and expensive restaurants, and he was spending a lot of money. And this went on for several months, and then his story changed. One day he would say that he was saying that because of his family's business, he was charged for smuggling diamonds or something, and then he has a lot of enemies, and his enemies are now looking at her and him, and they're after him. And then so obviously he's not at the same geographical location as his victims, so he's able to say, I got in a fight, or someone ran after me, and his bodyguard had wounds, and he's in an ambulance, and he has pictures to show, and he was sending this to the women that he was dating or being friends with at the same time. So then he would be asking for money because now all of his accounts are frozen, so he would be giving money. He would be asking money from these women, and since they have already built this emotional connection and this friendship or this relationship, this bond, the women would feel bad for him and believe that his life is really in danger, because sometimes he would say that he's a undercover Mossad agent or something. So then he needs to be given cash, or he would ask the women to create credit cards in the women's names. So I would circle back to that later on. So in the end, these women would be taking out loans just to give him the money. So, and then with the promise that he would pay them back because he's supposed to be a billionaire, or he has people who would take care of him because he's a secret Mossad agent, or some weird story and super unbelievable story that he's feeding them. So in the end, he does not pay them back, and then they realize that they have just been scammed. But he does it in a very systematic and professional way, and he has been doing this for probably 2 decades or more at this point. And the thing that's super irritating, but is very, I guess that's why he's such a con artist, is he knows the things that he needs to do so that he does not get in legal problems, like with that would earn him a higher jail time or something, because I believe he was already sent to jail in Finland, and then after the documentary he was sent to jail in Israel, his country, his place, whatever, and then but because of COVID he was let out after 5 months, so now he's a free man in Israel and living his best life. So which is why now this part I'm going to kind of break down his method. And at first, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a forensic analyst for these things, but just my observations is what the things that I thought were red flags to me. But I guess I could also understand how these women would get hooked onto it. So that's why I said first is when he meets up with them, like with the first girl, I think also with the second woman, the first woman, the first victim, the second victim, said, I'm going on a trip, would you like to come with me? So if the person says yes, then in his mind is like, okay, this person's risk level, his version to taking risks is high. So if that is the case, then this person might potentially be a victim, because at this point these women weren't asking, they just believed him at his face value in saying that he is a billionaire's son or whatever, and would you want to go on a trip with me to Greece or Mykonos or Munich or wherever? And they actually said yes. So I'm not sure what, but probably the profile of his victims is possibly the same, probably the same average economic level, probably, or I don't know, but there must be some common denominator, I think, but I don't know, I'm not sure. So anyway, I think that was his entry point. If the woman or the person that he's talking to would say, okay, I'll go with you, then that means that this person is a potential victim. So next, now that the person believes him, he would show them that, okay, he has this money, blah, 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 and he pays for everything in cash, so that was the first red flag for me. Like, why would anyone bring you anywhere if you've only just met in person, right? And yeah, and these people were actually believed him and trusted him. So then he gets them hooked emotionally. They become friends or boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when he says something that is threatening his life, then they now believe him. Because at this stage, they're already at the, like, they're already, like, committed to him. So then he would be asking for money, and without the layer of emotional manipulation, or probably the the I guess the ego or the pride of the person, the victim. It's like, I think I already know this person, but and I already trust him enough, so I couldn't be wrong. Like, because takes his time, months, and I think the other woman, he was with her for like 18 months or something. So he is playing the long game, and he's super professional in what he's doing. So he just waits, builds up the relationship, builds up. I mean, some people who are married, they don't even know the person that they married, even if they say that they have been dating for X number of years. People change, um, or professional scammers or con artists, they can pretend their whole lives. I mean, right? Um, it's their career. So that's what he has been doing. So that's what he did. And so he was asking for money and they gave him money. So that to me is also a red flag. Like, if you really had, like in the case of having your own diamond business, why would you ask for money from a person that, I mean, okay, of course he would ask. I mean, it's not impossible that that he asks them, but on the other hand, isn't there anyone else that you could ask? I mean, if you're supposed to be a billionaire and you're supposed to have so many connections, why can't the police help you? I mean, if it's legitimate and your enemies are supposed to be your real enemies. So that is a huge question mark for me. It's like, are you doing shady, illegal business under this company? So that's why I think on an emotional level, these women don't want to accept that they might have been wrong about him. So they play along. Because I'm pretty sure at every step of the manipulation, their instinct and their their subconscious is telling them that there is something wrong. And I don't know, maybe some of their friend would have told them, or maybe not. Maybe it's something that they did not share with them, with their family or friends, or in, but I think in other cases, they actually brought this person to meet their family, the other victims. So in short, this guy is really good at being a con artist. So I guess to avoid me being scammed by people like this, the truth is just don't trust anyone. So again, there's a lot of layers to this, and I really hope a therapist or a psychology PhD person does break down this manipulation, because it sounds really crazy, and as an outsider, you would think like all of these are red flags. Why didn't they see it? But I'm sure there's something that the victims have in common, that this person was able to catch them and say that this person is someone that I can manipulate in this particular way. And it's scary because you don't know if the person next to you is capable of doing that. So you just have to, I just wanted to make this video, I guess, to add to the noise, so that people would not be conned, prevent this thing happening to anyone else, and go watch the documentary. Thanks for watching.